It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat.
You know what I won't
blaze up.
Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wah 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 wah. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy. For your boy. Also for your boy. Fix it for your boy. Drop it for your lift it up.
Girl, what's going on? Happy Thursday. Hello. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm late. Saint had an appointment for grooming, so the Joce had to come a little later today. Y'all know I wanted to be here, so here we are. Y'all get in here. Get in here. Yes. Y'all come on in. Get the likes up on the video. We got a few things to discuss. Now, today, we will be talking about the whole situation with the Diddy trial, with the psychologist who came through. We're going to get a little bit into the Kid Cudi testification. Testification, is that even a word? We're going to get into Kid Cudi's testifying a little bit, even though it's happening right now. If y'all know me, if you're new here, I don't go over the court documents as it's happening. I'm a fan like y'all. I be going to watch other people, and then we come back and talk about it over here. Okay. So right now we're going to be talking about what happened on yesterday, and we'll also be talking about a little bit of what's happening today as it pertains to Kid Cudi. So y'all get in here, get the likes up on the video. Make sure y'all like the video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. What else did I want to say? We'll be discussing the trial and what we're thinking so far as it pertains to what's been going on. Now, another thing we're going to be discussing is these inmates from New Orleans, and I've been doing some digging, talking to some people, and I got an update on Wu, aka what's his name? Derrick Grove. Is that his name? He's the vigilante. That's literally what he is, but he's the vigilante who his grandmother was unalive when he was a kid, and he grew older and allegedly unalived the people. He got payback. Okay, we're gonna get into that and what I found, but y'all get on in here and get the likes up. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you're new to the channel, go ahead on subscribe. Let's get these subscriber count up over here. You know, we should have more subscribers than we have. I just want to say that. We should have more subscribers than we have. I will be putting out a video later on at the Dollhouse, and it will be about this Jennifer Williams situation. We will be talking about that, so make sure y'all catch that later. But I also want to go live over here later on today. I just got to figure out on what. So let's get into a few honorable mentions really quickly. First and foremost, we have good news. Our brother CB, Chris Breezy, is free. Yes, he is. He is free, but they gave him a $6.7 million bail. Now, first of all, to a player like Chris, he gonna make that back in about a show or two. That ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that they set the bail so high, I'm pretty sure what they did was be like, oh, he's a flight risk. We're not sure if he's gonna come back. So we're gonna charge him with this super high bail so that he has to come. So yeah, let's do that. And so $6.7 million, I'm sorry. I don't know if the bail system is the same in America. In America, he'd only have to pay 10%, which would be about 600,000 plus. However, I don't know what the bail system is overseas. And at this point, it don't even matter because he's home. So the tour will be touring. He's already made a post saying that, hold on, let me go get the post. He's already made a post talking about how he's ready to go on tour. He's all good to go. So everybody who thought they look concert wasn't going to make it through, God must have been looking out for your fat, because it turns out Breezy is going to make it to fly around the next stadium. Okay. Let me get it. Oh, here you go. Breezy will be around to fly around at the next stadium. So make sure y'all pull up, pull over, grab your tickets. He said he home. You feel what I'm saying? It's just the swag for me coming from the airplane. Shout out to Breezy. I think that he deserved to be free. I think that he's innocent until proven guilty. And hopefully we can get this over so we can go it on and watch him flying, like I said. So what do you guys think? Sorry about that. I don't know. I just wanted to add that to y'all to show y'all. His caption says, "Cook and remain humble." Go ahead on. You heard me. You heard what my boy said, huh? Cook and remain humble. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Shout out to C Breezy, bro. When I tell you the ancestors been carrying this food, and I'm pretty sure he's well aware of it, that boy got more luck than sense. Do you hear me? Breezy has been carried by the ancestors. They have touched this boy. Look what he posted. From the cage to the stage. Go ahead, all Breezy. Breezy Bowl. He said from the cage to the stage. So if y'all got y'all tickets, don't fret. He coming. He followed. Hey, they say they released him. He out. He not out like them dudes from New Orleans. He out for real, for real. So he coming. Shout out to C Breezy. I think that's good news for Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Now, another thing let me see if I have another honorable mention I want to give to you guys. Now this one was big. Now this is going to affect the everyday working human being. Girl, did y'all see Waffle House workers is on strike? Did y'all know that? So they on strike because they said they don't want to get paid $3 an hour no more. They want at least 25, and they want other demands as well. And first and foremost, if I have to take myself out of it, I think that they deserve more than $3 as well. I think they deserve the 25 plus some, the way they be working. And I think that I hope that they get everything that they deserve and everything that they ask for. Now, selfish me knows that this is about to shoot the price of a waffle up to $30. Girl, listen, I come from a time where the all-star breakfast was $4.99 when I was a little girl. Now it's like $15, $20. Girl, if the Waffle House workers get a raise, the waffle is going to be going for $40 a waffle. I'm telling you now. Okay? If the workers get a raise, because this is what the restaurants have done, and we've spoken about this before. The restaurant industry is scamming America. Hello? Is this thing on? The restaurant industry is scamming America. So every state has a minimum wage, right? So what the restaurant is doing is saying, okay, we're going to tell, hey, Mr. IRS, I know you tell us that we have to pay at least minimum wage. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay these folks minimum wage. Everything's good to go. And then the IRS says, okay, cool, as long as they make their minimum wage. And then the restaurants say, yeah, we're going to make sure they make minimum wage. But this is what the restaurant actually does. What the restaurant actually does is pay you, I know in New Orleans, it was $2.13 or 12 cents an hour. But it seems like at the Waffle House, it's $3 an hour. And this is how the restaurant comes around and says that they've paid the worker $7 or whatever the minimum wage is. They calculate their tips, even tips that they haven't earned. They estimate, they guesstimate. You as a server, I guarantee, or not guarantee, I'm going to assume that today you're going to make at least $60. So if I pay you $3 an hour, plus your tips, that's $60. Mind you, the customer pays the tip, not the restaurant. The customer pays the tip. So what the restaurant says is, I project it's Saturday, it's busy. I project you'll make about $150 on one shift. So with that being said, $50, divided by 8 hours or however many hours you work, plus the $3, you have made more than the minimum wage. But the fact of the matter is, they really only paying you the $3 an hour. You get it? So when a lot of servers get upset, and I'm only telling y'all this because I worked in the restaurant industry for over 10 years, okay? So when a lot of restaurant servers get upset about the tip, is because this is the caveat, and we spoke about this before. What the restaurant says is, if I estimate you're gonna make $150, that's what I'm putting on these books for this IRS. So if you don't make $150, take that up with your makeup. Because I'm going to tell the IRS that you made $150 today before you even make the day. So guess what happens to that server? If the restaurant is estimating that I'm going to make $150 for one semester, for one shift, and I don't make the $150, guess what else the restaurant does? Taxes my wages, including my tips, according to what they say I'm supposed to make that day. So guess what? If I sit down at a table, or if I have a table come in 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and everybody want water with extra lemon and sugar, and then everybody want to send the food back, everybody want to whoop, everybody acting the food, they splitting the check, and take them an hour to split the check. If you don't tip me according to what the restaurant says I should make, I still have to pay taxes off the money you didn't give me. So what does that mean? If the table check is $100, the restaurant is assuming that at 18%, I'm supposed to make at least $18 in a tip. Let's say you don't give me nothing. Guess what? The restaurant is going to assume that I should have made the $18, or I should have the $18, and they're going to tax my wages off of that $18 that I never received. Hence, me paying out of my pocket to serve you down at the restaurant. But see, a lot of black people, and a lot of people, period, I ain't even want to say black people. A lot of people, period, like to go around there saying, well, you chose this job. Don't be mad at me. You a worker, you a server. This on you. I ain't got to tip you nothing. That's cool. But a lot of times when you don't tip, these servers are paying for you to sit down and have a meal. Okay? Just a little food for thought. So when I saw that the Waffle House workers were protesting about $3 an hour, I understood immediately why they were making $3 an hour, because Waffle House assumes that they're going to make X amount of dollars on their shifts, and that's how they come up with the whole minimum wage number. Okay? And I thought to myself, not only do they deserve it, it's overdue. Okay? But then I started thinking selfishly, girl, Waffle House about to tear the prices up on this stuff if this goes through. Let's get into what's going on. It says Waffle House workers in Georgia are now on strike as they demand an increased pay from $3 plus tips to $25 per hour, improved security, and an end to the company mandatory policy of charging workers daily for meals. That's another thing. You got to pay for your food when you eat at the restaurant, unless you me, and I'm going to eat regardless. Bitch, pay. Girl, bye. Girl, by the time I get in cool with my good managers, the only time I've ever paid is if it's a manager that I don't like. And a lot of times I still eat for free because I'm going to steal it. It is what it is, bitch. I done worked in here. I done opened and closed today, bitch. You gonna give me a pasta to go. That's just how my brain works. You feel what I'm saying? I've opened and closed this restaurant. You're going to give me a shrimp pasta to go home. Like that's not up for debate. And I get cool with the people who cook, so I already ate. And they be like, got you. You feel what I'm saying? If you've ever worked in a restaurant and you know back at the house, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm leaving here with something, okay? So, yes, the workers not only are being taxed for you to come sit down and eat when you don't doggone tip, they have to pay out of their pocket for that. Yes, they are also charged for food. Let's get into it. Waffle House employees in Marietta, Georgia have gone on strike demanding a raise from $3 plus tips to $25 an hour, improved safety measures, and an end to mandatory meal deductions from their paychecks. Ooh, meal deductions. So Waffle House might be assuming how much they're eating and taking it out. Because they say mandatory meal deductions. What you mean? What if I don't eat? Girl, Waffle House might be charging them for meals they don't even eat. I don't know this to be a fact, but you know what I mean? Miss Raina says, how is that legal? Because when you clear, you get the complexion for the protection. You get it? It's not legal, to be completely honest. It's actually one of the most illegal things that happen. But you know, if I want to be completely honest, most of the things that these major companies do are illegal. Like, for instance, sell you a battery, like an Energizer battery or a Duracell battery, and they'll say, oh, this battery is going to be good for 12 years. But what they don't tell you is 12 years from the shelf life or service life. Meaning by the time they make the battery, sit it in the warehouse, ship it off to the stove, sit in the back of the stove, then come out to the front of the doggone thing. This is just service life and shelf life. You probably might get about a good 5 or 6, not the 12. But they put 12 on the thing to make you think you got this long-lasting battery that really ain't. It's kind of like a white lie. Like, yeah, it is a 12-year battery. It is. But by the time you get it, it won't be. Am I making sense to y'all? It is a 12-year battery, but by the time you get it, it won't be, unless you're buying it from the warehouse where they're making them. You get it? That's what this is what America does. They lie, girl. And then when you go try to steal a pack of bubble gum out the store, they want to put you in prison for life. Girl, they've been stealing from us the whole time, girl, please. Anyways, and let me tell you something. The reason I know all this, I have experience in all this stuff. So anyway, so let's get back into what they were suing for. It says, backed by the Union of Southern Service Workers, they're protesting low wages, unsafe conditions, and being charged meals they don't always eat. I knew it. So Waffle House not only is assuming how much they gonna make, Waffle House is assuming that they gonna eat. So they're going back to Waffle House and said, wait a minute. You deducted money out my check, girl. I didn't even eat. And you know what Waffle House saying? Tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk was dry. Get out of here. Get your ugly. This what Waffle House saying. When the workers come, get your ugly ass out of here. Oh, I said what I said. The money already in my pocketbook. Die about it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just telling y'all how it goes. If you want to know how it goes, I'm telling you. So Waffle House is assuming they're eating, even if you don't eat. You get it? Okay, now let's get back to it real quick. The strike highlights growing labor unrest in the service industry. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, so again, me taking my nasty, greedy, funky, nasty ass up out of it, they deserve it. If I'm not being selfish, Waffle House workers be working their ass off. Let me tell you something. When it snowed out here in Georgia, they had a Waffle House worker that had been at work over 24 hours because nobody could make it down to Waffle House. And she said that the supervisor asked her to stay and work 2.5 shifts. And the girl worked the whole time. I said, do you understand the amount of slip and sliding I would have been doing on my way home before I'd have stayed up in here all night? The girl was so tired, she was delusional, couldn't even take the order. She started hearing voices and shit. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just Waffle House. This is a lot of your restaurant workers, period. Why you think they all on drugs and alcoholics? It's just stressful. You get it? Most of you, listen, the most down-to-earth people you will ever meet works at a restaurant. The coolest, most down-to-earth, most effed up people you will ever meet works for a restaurant. However, they messed up and they have a lot of vices because it's a very stressful job. So I'm hoping that this helps you guys when y'all go out to eat again. I mean, if people give you bad service, then it is what it is. But if somebody's giving you decent to good service, I think that y'all should take that into consideration. But do what you want. But shout out to the Waffle House workers. We'll be checking on this, honey. Now, this is in Georgia. Now, that's in Marietta up there north of Atlanta. I didn't check the one down here by my house. You feel what I'm saying? But I will be checking on it, okay? Moving on, because I want to get into this New Orleans inmate thing. I think that's it for honorable mentions. Let me be sure. So we said C Breezy is out. What's this? Oh no, I need that. Chris Brown is out of jail. I'll talk about that. I'll do a video on that. Yeah, I'm doing a video on that, so I don't need to discuss that. And then we talked about the Waffle House workers. All right, let's get into into the situation with the New Orleans inmates. Where do we start, honey? Girl, where do we start? Okay, let's start with the ones who are caught. Let's start with them. Now, first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We do a lot of Jocing. Jocing is just me passing time, having a, just dragging, whatever. Just chilling, talking, running our mouth. That's what a Joce is, okay? Or that's what we're doing in this sense of the word Joce, okay? So, we Joce over here, but we try to slide in a little bit of education every now and again. And I want to educate a few of you guys who weren't here when I spoke about this before. So here are the 4 that were captured. Yes, they are in their slavery line of clothing. This is the slavery summer 2025 selection. And these guys will be shipped up to Angola. Now, let me say this. It was 10 inmates who escaped. 4 has been arrested, okay? And here are the 4. Now, there's a parlay on the other 6 to see how long they're going to stay out. People betting. They say FanDuel them picked up on it and everything. They say how long they're going to be out and who's going to be the last one if get caught at all, but who's going to be the last one to get caught. Now, we all have our bets. I like Jermaine. I had Anthony Wu yesterday, but I'm going to tell you why that might have changed again. This is why I can't gamble. Because, see, I didn't know in the gambling world, you don't get to change your mind when it don't feel right. You feel what I'm saying? This is why I'm not a good gambler. So my parlay is in my head. You feel what I'm saying? Because every day, my views change. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So, these are the 4 who were caught, and they put them in their slavery clothes just to show the rest of the niggas that, hey, when we catch you, you niggas going back to the field. Now, really quickly on a little quick education segment. Angola prison. Angola prison is a prison in Louisiana, one of the oldest, if not the oldest, prison systems in America. Don't quote me, but let's just go with the move and say it's one of the oldest. But I want to say it's the oldest. Angola prison is known for its most gruesome, high, tight security, you know what I'm saying? Slavery work. Yes, the people were out there doing slavery work, picking cotton, tending to fields. Yes, you go up to Angola, you're not going lay down. Okay? So the clothing fits the place that they're going. Not only is Angola one of the most craziest prisons in America, Angola is older than the place called Angola in Africa. Did you know that? Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that Angola prison in Louisiana is older than Angola, Africa. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. Put a 2 in the chat if this is your first time hearing it. And if so, you're welcome. Do your own research. Go and check that out, okay? Most of the things you see all across the world come from names here in America. It was probably here first before it went over to Africa or to Europe or to Asia. You get it? So yes, Angola in Louisiana, the prison, Angola is older than Angola, Africa. Do your research. It's a quick Google search. It'll take you 2 minutes, okay? Now, so these 4 headed up to Angola, and of course it's a dog whistle to the other ones, like, yo, just so you niggas know, we on your ass, and when we catch you, you're going up to upstate. Y'all remember in Life, when Django, when Steven sat down next to Django when they had caught him and they had him upside down burning his balls or something, whatever they was doing, and he said, he said they wanted to just clip you, kill you, drag you by a horse, had a horse separate you. He said, but I looked up and listened to him and I shook my head and said, hell, them niggas at LaQuinn Dixie got it worse than that. Y'all remember that? Well, if you remember that line, Angola is LaQuinn Dixie, okay? When Steven said from Django, them niggas up at LaQuinn Dixie got it worse than that, that's Angola. So Mind you, most of these niggas is murderers. Let's really be clear about it. Most of these niggas is murderers. But in a city like New Orleans, like other black cities across America, most of the black people in jail right now, especially the young niggas, they murderers too. So don't get to acting all funny and, oh my God, it's so crazy, he's a murderer. Girl, everybody in jail for murder now. Who not in jail for murder? I think one or two of them not in jail for murder. One of them in there for something very simple. It's crazy. But anyway, so where are we going with this? These are the four. They put them in a slavery summer collection. Put the outfit on them. Put it out here. This a dog whistle to the other ones. Yo, hey, when we catch you, nigga, it's on. Mind you, New Orleans is covered with not only local police, they got state police, and they got Homeland Security been down there. I don't know if they still down there. I know they was down there for Mardi Gras. But Homeland Security, they got undercover people. Girl, New Orleans is crazy. And these niggas is still out here wilding out. Now, these niggas broke out of prison or jail in New Orleans and literally walked down the street. To drive from the jail uptown to Canal Street and Bourbon Street is about a 15-minute drive. Just to put it in perspective. And that's give or take a little traffic. This is how small New Orleans is. A lot of people think New Orleans is huge. Girl, you can run the whole city in like 35, 40 minutes. Okay? Now, so that's how far away they went. Now, remember I told y'all that they had the boy who went live with his baby mama. Like, I'm talking about as soon as he got out. Let me show you this video, bro. You can't make this shit up. This nigga was escaped, and as soon as he got out, he went straight by his baby mama, popped a perk, had a good time, drank, smoked, went live. Look.
I hit a bag on my boys. Yeah, I'm about to go with a two. Get over me. All right. Fresh out of jail. Stop playing.
A few moments later.
So you heard him, fresh out of jail, was them, fresh out of jail. And a few moments later, they picked his duck ass up, as they should. He was on live with his mama, his grandma, his baby mama, all his friends in the hood. They went live. But this is what I told you. Social media is a drug. Because you wouldn't dare have thought that an inmate would go live 10 years ago after they escaped from jail. You just wouldn't think it'd happen. You know what I mean? And here are the inmates running away. This is the guy who went live with his baby mama after popping a perk, having a good time. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, Miss Deborah got him a little bit, just a little something. Let the old lady quick boom boom. You feel what I'm saying? And then he went on back in. You can tell he just wanted to be out for a little bit to have a little nice little time or whatever. Now, not only is that what I wanted to show you, the three. This is before I go here. I want to make sure I catch everything with this. Because now I'm starting to think I need to do a damn, I'm going to come back to that. I need to do a damn video on this because this is a lot. I'll come back to that. I just want to make sure I'm getting it all in. Oh, I can show you this. Let me tell you something too. New Orleans is in shambles. The politicians are beefing. Everybody's got pointing the finger at everybody. It's a lot. New Orleans is in shambles right now, just so you know, and we're going to get into that. Now, here's a video of them going into somebody's house. They say he went into an abandoned house or something like that. And yeah, I want to get into this video for y'all, and this is the police going to get him.
3609 4th Street, 3611 4th Street. Come to the front door with your hands up, with no weapons, and be prepared to receive commands. No one is going to hurt you. Come to the front door with your hands up, with no weapons, and be prepared.
Did that clear man just say, come to the door with your hands up? No one is going to hurt you. Girl, that's like some girls outside saying, come outside, we not going to jump you. Nigga, I am a felon and I just escaped from jail. And you got the nerve to get your pink lips to that microphone, that megaphone, and get on here and tell me to come out with my hands up and no weapons because ain't nobody gonna hurt me. You had the nerve to part them things you call lips and say something like that. I'm telling you, it literally, with no weapons, SL, it literally reminds me of these, it's like 6 girls outside and they're like, come outside, we're going to let y'all get a one-on-one. We're not going to jump you. Girl, what? We're not going to jump in, I swear. We just going to watch y'all. We're not going to jump in. We just going to. Do you think I am boo-boo the fool? Girl, these people is crazy.
Prepare to receive command.
I'm surprised they didn't send in the robot. It was so weird because I was in the East in New Orleans about last year before the Super Bowl. And girl, they had went inside this man house in the East off of Crowder and they sent the robot in there, girl. Yes. Yeah, Thule, I heard about that. Thule asked me if I heard about the girl or the engaged couple who died in a wreck on the same night in 2 separate wrecks. So like the fiance, they were engaged. One was in one car, the other was in another car, and on the very same night, they ended up getting into a wreck, and both were deceased. I saw that. That's crazy. But yeah, this is the type of time and these people is on. Like I said, I thought they were gonna send in a robot, but they didn't. They kind of like ran in there or whatever. Now, I want to get into Derrick Groves. Let's start with Derrick Groves. First of all, like I told y'all in the past, these niggas don't have nowhere to go. A nigga on the run is a nigga around the corner. You get what I'm saying? If you ever was wondering where a nigga at and he on the run, just check around the corner. So 3 more of these niggas is caught on Bourbon Street. Camera City. I'm talking about Bourbon Street got HD 4K cameras. You feel what I'm saying? And Derrick Groves, the one who I said I should switch my bet to, is walking on Bourbon Street with them. You know what that tells me? That maybe Derrick Groves ain't taking this thing as seriously as I thought. You feel what I'm saying? Vu, did you read that man's shirt? No, what the shirt said? Tell me in the chat. But listen, maybe Derrick is not taking this as seriously as I need him to take it, seeing that he got so much at stake. Derrick and 2 of the other niggas is walking up and down Bourbon Street. It says 6:06 p.m. Footage was recently released this afternoon. 3 of the inmates seen about 2:10 a.m. after the breakout reports mentioned. It says seen at the intersection of Howard and Barone. So far, Kendall Miles, Robert Moody, DeCannon Dennis, Gary Price, and Corey Boyd have been taken into custody. So that's 5, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5 of them, and 5 of them is still on the loose. These niggas is walking up and down Bourbon Street with their jail underclothes on. They still walking around in the gray sweats, the white long john shirt, the jail boxers, and the orange slides. Like, you just can't look any more like a prisoner than the only more like a prisoner they can look is if they just put the orange jumpsuit back on. Nigga, y'all look like y'all just came out. These niggas is all up and down Bourbon Street for why? Now, granted, they haven't caught Derrick Grove yet. You know what I'm saying? And he is a vigilante. And we about to get into Derrick Grove being a vigilante. But ultimately, it's just like, are you taking this thing serious, Derrick? Derrick, if you get to see this video, which you probably won't, but if you got a chance to see this video, Derrick, we are rooting for you. We are all rooting for you. People have money on the line. I need you to take this escape a little bit more seriously. I need you to get out of the city of New Orleans. I need you to do what real escapees do and run. Okay. See, y'all only ran out the door and then y'all been walking ever since. I need you to run. It's a lot at stake here, Derek. This is bigger than you at this point. This is much bigger than just Derek. It's a lot of people have a lot riding on this. I need Derek to take this seriously. I need Derek to get in the game and take this seriously, okay? Damn. Y'all, it's not, I'm just saying, if it was just about you, then that would be one thing. But we got a lot going on out here in these streets. Yeah, this nigga walking up and down Bourbon Street. Girl. So anyway, speaking of Derek, girl, and I'm going to tread light the way I talk to Derek, because Derek is a stepper. You feel what I'm saying? Now, you see, we done talked about it over here before. You feel what I'm saying? Well, let me show y'all this other video of the other boy getting at the house. Now, this boy went into the abandoned house. Hold on. This the boy went into the abandoned house right quick.
Just state troopers and everybody out here. God is 100 U.S. Marshals and state troopers versus one man. And the man is winning. They done been in the house, they ain't found nobody. They done got wind that the man down here, the man done got wind that they got wind, and he done got the fuck. They came out empty-handed, baby. They ain't found nothing on nobody. Girl, why?
My girl said the police got wind that he out here. Well, he got wind that the police got wind, and he got the F up out of here. Girl, you can't make this up. Wait. My girl said the police got wind that he was out here, so they came out here. They've been out here for hours. Well, turns out he got wind that they got wind. And he got the F on, girl. Go ahead on. Wait, girl, I gotta hear that one more time, girl. Listen, the commentary is to die for. Do you hear me? My girl said they got wind that he was out here, but then he got wind that they got wind, and he got the F on. Girl, you can't make this up. Wait.
I found their way to the parish. God, the U.S. Marshals, bitch, state troopers, and everybody out here. God is 100 U.S. Marshals and state troopers versus one man. And the man is winning. They done been in the house, they ain't found nobody. They done got wind that the man down here, the man done got wind that they got wind, and he done got the fuck. They can't.
Girl, that is when I tell you top tier commentary. The man done got wind that they got wind, and he done got the fuck. Girl, go ahead on. He must know somebody down at the precinct.
Came out empty-handed, baby. They ain't found nothing on nobody. Girl, why would you break out of New Orleans jail and come to St. Bernard Parish? That's crazy, bitch. You should have been in St. Bart's. You heard me?
Facts.
Bitch, you're already going to jail. You got to kill and steal your way up out the country, baby. Break out of jail and come to St. Bernard Parish. I know you fucking lying. Girl. But I tell you one thing, they ain't caught him, y'all. They ain't caught nobody. You heard me? The presidents I found their way to the parish.
Girl, my girl spitting. My girl said they got wind that he was around here and came pulled up. And then he got wind that they got wind. And he got the fuck. Girl, go ahead on. But she said they didn't catch nobody. The city is in shambles. Let me just say this. The city is in shambles. Do you hear me? Listen. Now, we got to get into Derrick Groves. So remember, I told y'all Derrick Groves is a vigilante. And let me tell you why I say that. Because Derrick Groves is first of all, he's a murderer. Let's start there first. I don't want to not act like he not what he is. He definitely that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give y'all a bit more perspective on who and what Derrick Groves and why he did what he did. Now, don't get on here all holier than thou. You know how y'all like to get. Oh, but then right is right and didn't shut up. I'm about to give you the story and tell you what really happened, girl. So let me give you the tea. Okay. So Derrick Groves, hold on, let me get him back on him. So Derrick Groves is the grandson of Kim Groves. Okay. Kim Groves was a young woman from New Orleans. She was what we call a stepper, like Derrick. Derrick is a stepper, okay? I'm just giving y'all the tea. Derek is a stepper. The lady, Kim Groves, which was his grandmother, was a stepper, okay? Kim Groves was, I want to say, her early to mid 30s. And Kim Groves was a threat to a weird, crooked cop named Lynn Davis. This right here is Lynn Davis. Now, Lynn Davis was already under surveillance by the FBI because Lynn Davis was in deep with all of the hood criminal activities, with the drug dealers. He was really working in uniform, but for the streets, okay? Now, Lynn Davis also was very cutthroat. Lynn Davis felt like anything and anybody get in my way, I need to chop them down. Kim Grove just happened to be one of those people. Now, mind you, him and Kim went to school together. And when I say school, I'm from New Orleans, that means high school. What's a stepper? A stepper is like King Von. That's somebody who don't have no problem with deleting somebody. That's a stepper. A big stepper is somebody that you don't even want to be in your presence. Okay. So yeah, Kim is a stepper. You feel what I'm saying? Lynn Davis is a stepper. It's a lot of steppers. Oh, matter of fact, all them niggas, most of them niggas that escape are steppers. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway. So Lynn Davis went to school with Kim. Now, Kim is Derek's grandmother. So they knew each other from school, but they say allegedly Lynn Davis was lame. Like he was one of them weird, lame little, niggas nobody really like, you know what I'm saying? Weird niggas, you know what I'm saying? And those niggas go get on the force or they go join the military and they start holding their chests out like they big and I'm this, that, and the third. And then they start to overexert dominance and power because they've never had that type of power before. That was allegedly Lynn Davis. Now, Lynn Davis went to prison for his crime. So let's be clear. He's still in prison. But listen. So Lynn Davis decided that he was going to work with one of the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys are one of these. It's a family of people from New Orleans that are big, big steppers. If we understand what the term stepper means, Hardy, that name is synonymous with stepper. Big stepper. You feel what I'm saying? Now, mind you, he the police. He's like a male jukebox from Power or whatever. But this is in the 90s. I want to say 94. Okay, so boom. Lynn Davis decides to enlist the help of one of the Hardy Boys to go and unalive Kim. What's her name? Kim Grove, to go and unalive Kim Grove because first of all, everybody in the hood knew he was dirty. Kim one day confronted him because he had beat this dude so bad, knocked all his goals out his mouth. And Kim went over there and confronted him about that and was like, bruh, like you can't, like Kim was a stepper in the streets to where she could confront the police. Long story short, Kim made a report down to the police station talking about the things that Lynn did, and then Lynn, the police, put a hit out on her. And I have the audio of Lynn talking about how, yeah, go get that bitch. She over here describing what she wearing. Oh, go get her, da, 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 da. And then we're going to get into the grandson, who was just a little bitty boy, probably a baby, if even born at the time, okay? Because this was in 94. I want to show y'all some of the audio of him talking about, yeah, go get her, go get her, go get her. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy. And when you hear the amount of BS in this man's voice, you understand a little bit why Derek Groves is the unaliver that he is.
Against a cop.
Oh, really quickly, this is from, I want to make sure I shout out the channel. This is from Rare Report, sorry. And this is a 2-year-old video, by the way.
For brutalizing a teenager.
That evening, she went up there to Eternal Affairs and she made the report. Now, from my understanding, it takes almost 72 hours before a cop know about.
So that's how they're growing so fast. They're hiring.
Sorry. She's talking about it takes 72 hours for a cop to know that a police report was filed on them or a complaint is filed on them. But somehow he found out about it immediately. I'm talking about Lynn Davis, the cop. He found out about it immediately.
About this police, this report being on them. he knew by the time she got home.
The FBI had Officer Davis under surveillance for drug activity and actually recorded him setting up the assassination of Kim Grove.
And if he be suspended, how can I detail or protect my shipment? So he had an idea of, if I get rid of her, then all that'll go away and I can continue doing what I'm doing. You had high profile federal agents already.
This is Kim Grove's daughter, and that's her nephew. Just for y'all to know. This is Kim Grove's daughter, that's her nephew.
Investigating him. So in the midst of that investigation, her murder happened.
Whatever mindset she was in, he had to know it ain't gonna stop until her mission is complete, mine is. So we gonna have to get rid of her immediately.
Man, that who's standing out there right now with black jeans.
This him off the wire. Now, mind you, the FBI is following him, so they know everything that he's doing. This is why they have the wiretaps. So in my opinion, it sounds like the capital letter people let him do this because they were already surveilling him. Now, this is him talking about Kim, talking about the bitch outside right now. Look.
Immediately.
Man, that who's standing out there right now with black jeans, a black coat, and a bitch brown skin with light brown eyes. I got the phone on and the radio. After it's done, go straight uptown and call me.
We gonna see if she went around.
You heard that? I got the phone on me uptown. Okay, this Woo Grandma. That's Woo Grandma. This not Woo Mama. This Woo Grandma. But look. So he's setting up the hit. I got the phone on me. I'm gonna be uptown. Let me know when it's done. Okay. I think there's another audio clipping too. Hold on.
Up there around roughly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She was killed at 10:30. He found out she was there. He was like, yeah, rockabye, baby. And
she went and filed the report at 3 that afternoon. She was dead by 10.
It just tickled him pink.
From what I'm hearing from the people, it's definitely a done deal.
The day it happened, where were you guys and how you got the news? Were you actually there?
It happened on the corner from our house. We live in the middle. It happened like 1, 2, 3 houses down on the corner. So we was actually inside when it happened. And like right after it happened, could have been like 5 minutes later, I actually answered the phone. And when I picked up the phone, I'm like, hello. And the lady said, Kim just got shot. I think she did. So I'm thinking it's like, hello. So I just say, my mom. They say my mama just got shot. She did. And that's when everybody went out the door. And when we got out there, she was laying in the street.
How old were you at the time?
12. I made 13 the next day.
And how did you take that? What was going through your mind?
She was actually planning my birthday party. She sung happy birthday and she walked out the door. October 13th, I was a 12-year-old child. October 4th.
So her mother was taken from her the day before her 13th birthday. And that's literally what she's talking about. I just want to play a little bit more piece because now I want to get into the mindset of Anthony Grove and why he doing what he did. Let's get into how she said because remember, she sat outside, her and the family sat outside with her mother's body until the ambulance came 45 minutes later.
I don't know, when something just seemed like a dream at the moment, like
surreal.
You're going through it, but you don't think you're actually there. So, I mean, we sat out there till took the ambulance like 45 minutes
to get there.
Before they got there. We sat out there with her. My grandfather took her brains and threw it in the levee.
Took her brains?
Yeah, her brains was knocked out of her head. So he went to the levee and, I guess that little ritual thing, you set her free. So
you heard what she said? They sat outside 45 minutes, wait for the ambulance to come. But the grandfather, which is her mama's daddy, knew that she was dead. So he took the remaining of her brains that was on the ground, picked them up, threw them in the levee, which is the water, the lake, which goes out to the Gulf of Mexico, saying that freed her. Okay, basically they're saying that according to whatever ancestral rituals that they have, it freed their daughter. Mind you, according to them, they knew she was dead when it all popped off. They was waiting 45 minutes on the ambulance to come.
We knew she wasn't gonna make it.
See?
And when the ambulance did got there, like 10 minutes later, they had then called it, say she hadn't passed.
You said you were 12. Did you see it? Did you actually go and look at it?
Yeah, we sat there with her. My piece I got from her as, my grandmama raised us very spiritual. We're not righteous, just not religious, just righteous. And I sat there with her, and as I looked in her eyes, she said her sorry, but she had to go. So we sat there with her until they came.
Probably like around 7 o'clock in the morning. Things was kind of still fresh. You still had feds and stuff out there. They were still outside. I can remember all three of my cousins' facial expressions. Her oldest son, he was sitting on the crate like this, just staring into space. He didn't move. Corey didn't move, didn't do anything. Somebody was holding you, Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Consoling you. Mm-hmm. Stephanie was over the fence. I woke up to my mother on the floor, stretched out, hiding and screaming. My grandma had to get us dressed for school. But as we walking, the brains wasn't cleared all the way up yet. So it was still
the
fragments.
blood and everything still was down there.
Still fragments. Even once we got home from school, it was still not as much, but still just the blood stains and the spots. And
all right, I don't want to get too far into it, but what he's saying is in New Orleans, especially back in the day, you went to school 7 o'clock, 7:30 to 3:30. So if they got up to go to school and be there at 7 o'clock or 7:30, he said the brains were on the ground on the way to school. And even when they got home from school, mind you, school don't let out to about 3:30. Home from school, they still had the stuff out there. So this is a background story, okay? This is a background story, allegedly, of what happened to Kim Groves, okay? Now, remember, I showed y'all the video of the family in panic because the family had to go into hiding once they realized one of the inmates that was released, or not released, but that escaped, was Kim Groves' grandson, who allegedly is one of the guys, or the guy who unalived a lot of allegedly the man's family, Lynn Davis. Okay, so just so y'all know what's going on with that, I want to show y'all how the political piece of this is in shambles. Now, remember, the governor is blowing up the doggone district attorney, basically pointing fingers at him, and the district attorney is over there pointing fingers at the governor, saying, hey, certain things are out of our jurisdiction, but we out here trying to make it do what it do. The city is panicking about this Derrick Groves, and it's not because they're afraid that he's going to unalive random regular people on the street. I don't think that's why. They don't know what his mindset is, and if he may attack police, if he may go and do some type of mission, run into the police. They don't know what and where his head is, okay? So this is why I believe that they're all panicking, because they're all unsure, okay? Let's get into the DA going back and forth, or responding to the governor, basically saying, yo, you're not doing your job. Check it out. Hold on. Y'all get the likes up on the video.
I think the governor asked a question about cases taking too long. Well, after we convict someone, it's not on the DA's office to go pick them up in a van and drive them up there and go. That's the state's responsibility by law. If it was up to me, he wouldn't have been here a single day after his conviction, but unfortunately, it's not up to me. Now, here's the other piece of that. There seems to be a little bit of selective amnesia about what's actually occurring in Orleans Parish. Orleans Parish has an 85% conviction rate in homicide cases, which is an all-time high in the modern era. And I would, if we're going to pose questions from the podium, the question would be, show me another parish that is trying this many murder cases and this many rape cases with an 85% success rate. And to forget the fact that we could not have jury trials for more than a year in this parish, longer than the other parish, there obviously is a backlog, but that's a busy place. The courtroom next door, Tulane and Broad, is one of the busiest courtrooms in the state of Louisiana, and I would encourage the governor and his team to come and look at it. Regardless of the backlog of cases from the pandemic, regardless of the backlog from cases because of the state crime lab, regardless of all those issues, the lawyers, the jurors, the witnesses, the judges over there are working very, very hard, and it is one of the busiest courtrooms in the state. So to suggest that justice is not being served because of the volume of cases we have, that is factually dishonest, incorrect, and disingenuous.
All right, so y'all heard the governor, Jeff Landry, criticizing the DA, but the DA is like, yo, I convict him. You supposed to come pick him up and bring him up to Angola. You haven't done that. And let me add this too to the piece. Derek Groves, although convicted now of this crime, you do know that he had been tried 3 times and beat it. Well, technically, so the first time he was tried, I think it was made to where only as long as one juror thought you were guilty, you were automatically guilty, and they made him guilty. Well, then Supreme Court came down and was like, no, it has to be a unanimous guilty for him to go off, and then he beat the charge. Well, then the second time they tried him, it ended up being a hung jury. Because according to the system, they're saying that he claims that he has an alibi for when these people were unalive, but they're saying due to phone records, it shows something otherwise. Either way, it was a hung jury. Then they tried him again, and then this the last time they tried him, and they convicted him, and this is when he escaped, okay? So now, honestly, to me, you know what that tells me? That maybe he's not guilty of all of these things, or maybe there's a lot of poking of reasonable doubt here that nobody wants to talk about, okay? But either way, Anthony Grove, let me get him up here. Anthony Grove got the city set on fire. They are losing their minds more about Anthony Grove than anybody else. Mind you, 10 inmates escaped. 10. But they don't care that much. They are more fixated on Anthony Grove because he's too unpredictable. They don't know who and what and how this thing could play out. Let me show y'all this this news broadcast so y'all can see. They're afraid, okay? They're afraid, I'm telling you.
This close to WDSU confirmed one of the escaped inmates.
I'm sorry, his name is Derek Groves. Why was I saying Anthony Groves? I'm getting names mixed up. Derek Groves is the inmate. This is him, and that's his grandmother, his late grandmother, Kim Groves.
Derek Groves is the grandson of Kim Groves.
Kim Groves was a 32-year-old when she was gunned down by corrupt NOPD officer Lynn Davis. This was back in October of 1994. WDSU's Shay O'Connor went back to that area and spoke to neighbors who want Groves to turn himself in.
Yet 3 decades later, in a fresh arrangement of flowers consistently placed right here at the exact place where Kim Groves was shot and killed.
It hurted the whole neighborhood because everybody knew her.
A home where a vibrant family once lived now sits abandoned here along Alabo Street in the 9th Ward. The Groves name still visible on a post. Now, a flower arrangement covers the spot of a crime scene just 3 decades ago.
My son ran inside telling me, they just shot Kim. They just got Kim. I'm like, what? For what?
This woman says she remembers the day 32-year-old Kim Groves was shot and killed in 1994. Her killer, corrupt NOPD officer Lynn Davis. Groves said to have witnessed Davis beating someone in her neighborhood. In 1996, he was convicted for her murder. In 2025, President Biden commuted his sentence to life in prison. Her grandson, Derek, said to have grown up knowing about the tragedy.
That's a painful thing. That's something you never, ever forget.
Over 30 years later, Derek Groves is one of 10 men to escape Orleans Justice Center on May 16th. Groves, also known as Wu, is a 4-time convicted killer. Those who know him say his life was filled with unfortunate circumstances, starting with the death of his grandmother.
You're supposed to be able to trust the police. So now you don't trust them. Why would you? You killed my grandmother.
The Ninth Ward community hoping he will turn himself in.
I hope he turned himself in. If only to give his family a peace of mind.
As of right now, Derek Groves and 4 others are still on the loose. If you do know anything at all that could aid officers in their arrests, you're being urged to contact law enforcement. Reporting from the Ninth Ward, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
Let me read this part right quick because I think this is very telling. It says, sources close to WDSU confirm that one of the escaped inmates, Derek Groves, is the grandson of Kim Groves, okay? It says Groves was a 32-year-old mother of 3 when she was gunned down in the Ninth Ward in October of 1994, specifically the lower Ninth Ward along Alebo Street. The hit was ordered by corrupt NOPD officer Lynn Davis. Davis is currently doing a life sentence for her death. Today, I spoke with friends of Kim Groves who say the pain of her death is still fresh. They say her grandson, Derek Groves' life has been full of unfortunate circumstances, including the death of his brother and the death of his grandmother. His grandmother's death happened before Kim Groves was born, okay? Or before he was born, I'm sorry. I want to go Cassie real quick. I want to go Cassie real quick in my Umar voice. He's filled with a lot of trauma. He lost his grandmother before he could even be born. He lost a sibling. He has come up in harsh, rough circumstances. The family has been lost ever since the grandmother hasn't been around. He probably suffered a bunch of mental, emotional, and psychological abuse at the hands of being in the hood and the environment of the hood. So with that being said, I think he needs to be freed because his unaliving those people, allegedly unaliving those people, it was all trauma responses. It was trauma responses. And for anybody to say anything against him having a trauma response, you are victim shaming. You're victim shaming. You don't understand what it feels like to lose your grandmother before you even are born. You don't understand what it feels like to lose a sibling. You don't understand what it feels like to grow up in the hood. You're victim shaming. Matter of fact, people who say anything negative about Derek Groves, you need to be weary of them and pay attention to the people who saying put Derek Groves back in jail. Those people need to be studied. Pay attention to those people. He has had a trauma response. You see how that feels? Is it making sense to anybody yet? I'm just trying to see something. If you think that Derek Groves should be in jail, I think people who think like that, I think that if you know somebody who thinking like that, you need to distance yourself from them. Because those people are telling you everything you need to know about their mindset. They are not to be trusted. Because if they want Derek in jail for his trauma response, then you don't stand a chance. You see how that sounds? Don't it sound crazy, huh? Don't it sound asinine? Don't that sound stupid? Free Derek though. Free Woo. Yeah, Woo came up, and like I told y'all yesterday, we spoke about it yesterday. John Wick went on a 4-5 movie killing spree because somebody killed his dog. Free Woo. If this was a movie, we would be in the theater. Like I told y'all yesterday, if this was a movie, we would be in the theater rooting for Woo. Free Woo. Free him till it's backwards. Okay? Free him till it's backwards at this point. Free him until it's backwards. You know what that spells when I say free him till it's backwards? That means him free. You get it? Free him to is backwards mean him free. Free him. So yeah, I found this backstory on this Derrick Groves, and I was like, you know what? Let me go dig into his traumatic past and see what could have caused this bright young man to go down such a weary path. And you know what it dawned on me at the moment when I was going through Wu's past? You know what I said to myself? Trauma. You know, trauma is a very complex situation, okay? And the way trauma works is it causes a person's brain to not react in sound mind and body. So things might take place, and even if they are deadly things, it doesn't matter, because what's happening to Wu is a trauma response. He is not physically and mentally, emotionally in a place to make the correct decisions because he's under his abuser. Who's his abuser, Vu? The system. The government. His environment. That's his abuser. He's under the thumb of his abuser. This causes Wu to make rational, irrational decisions, okay? Because it's all trauma related. PTSD, depression, anxiety. There's a void in Wu's heart that need to be filled. There's nothing that will fill that void. He was hurt in his daddy's nutsack when he realized that they took his grandma. He is trying to cope and live every day. You don't understand the way trauma works. That's your problem. Y'all is ignorant, and y'all need to be studied, and y'all need to be put in jail, because when people have trauma responses, it's simply that they're responding to the trauma, not to the situation that they're in. It's a trauma response. Free him till it's backwards. Okay? Free Wu till it's backwards. Backwards of free Wu is Wu free. I hope that made sense. And I know it went over some people's head. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones who the light bulb went off right quick, ding, ding, ding. I hope you understand what I be saying though. Or at least where I'm coming from when I see what I see. Okay? Now, also, two heifers decided that they want to aid in the bed in getting these niggas free, and them hoes done got arrested. Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. And we about to put them on the Summer Jam screen. You hoes as slow as turtles. Girl, them niggas couldn't have paid me. Do you hear me? To help them aid in the bed, them in a damn thing. Look at these two heifers. Look at them. Hold your face up. Let them see it. Was it worth it? 2 women arrested after helping multiple New Orleans jail escapees get food and transportation. It says, neighbors, this is crazy. 2 women have been arrested after New Orleans police accused them of aiding some of the New Orleans Arnola jail escapees. Both are being charged as accessories after the fact. 32-year-old Courtney Harris is accused of being in contact with Leo Tate, one of the 5 fugitives still at large. Authorities claim she communicated with the inmates prior to their escape and drove 2 of them to multiple locations around New Orleans while they were on the run. 38-year-old Carvante Batiste, or Batiste, whatever, is accused of assisting Corey Boyd, a fugitive who was captured yesterday. Authorities say Batiste bought food to Boyd while he was hiding in a residence after escaping jail. Both women were booked and sent to the Plaquemines Parish Detention Center following their arrest. If convicted, they each face up to 5 years in prison. Child, I hope it was worth it. What are your thoughts? These is the heifers right here. Y'all probably a baby mama or ex little yay or one of y'all probably was josing these niggas when they was in there. And I'm assuming that you was, because that's why they said you had helped them and was talking to them before they got out. Okay, so yeah, you jose the nigga while he in there. Not a nigga out. You want to jose him on the outside whole time he on the run. You want to go drop off $1 burger and $1 fry. Now you might be facing 5 years. Does it make sense? Is it making sense yet? Now y'all hoes going to jail. We gone and all. And y'all, one of them 38 and the other one is 32. That might be their relatives. Who knows, girl? Who knows? In New Orleans, girl, who knows? The 50-year-old women, the 60-year-old women, boyfriend be 21. So you never know. You never know in the city of New Orleans. You never know in the city of New Orleans. But anyways, so here's the mugshot of the guys. Now we got to move on, but I wanted to say they got 5 still on the run. So far, Kendall Miles, Corey Boyd, Robert Moody, Gary Price, and DeCannon Dennis is on the run. So far, still out, our boy Leo Tate, Derek Groves. Woo! Then we got Antoine Massey. We don't feel no type of way about him. Jermaine Donald, that's my boy. And Linton Van Buren. These are the 5 that are still on the run. 5 has been caught, 5 on the run. Place your parlays and your bets with the nearest number runner around you to see who all gonna make it out of the situation. But shout out to Derek Groves. And like I said before, free him till his backwards. And rest in peace to his grandma Kim and to the family, my condolences and things of that nature. And even, you know what? Even to the cops family, because they shouldn't have to suffer for the sins of a crooked ass police cousin, uncle, daddy, or whoever he is. Okay. They shouldn't have to suffer for his actions. But Lynn Davis allegedly was a very vile and nasty, dirty, funky police. Okay. So, you know, I'm not condoning the unaliving. I just understand now that I know about trauma responses. Now I understand why he did what he did. You feel me? It was all a trauma response. Free him until it's backwards. Okay. Now let's move on to other trauma responses. We got to get into the Diddy trial. We got to get into the Diddy trial, girl. So, girl, day 8 of the Diddy trial, or is it 7? I don't know. It don't matter. Yesterday, girl. So, remember, Kid Cudi was supposed to show up yesterday, but he ended up not showing up. But he came today, so don't worry about it. He came today. So, boom. So, we on day 8 of the trial. So far, let's go down the witness list. We done had Cassie get on here and admit that she got peed in the mouth till she throwed up. We also had Cassie on here talking about how she did 4 5-day freak offs. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. 4 5-day freak off. She talked about how they would go out of town, how she would be the one paying for the prostitute and all that other stuff, or whatever the case may be. So that's already under the table. Cassie mama came out and testified that she's witnessed physical abuse from Diddy, even took pictures. We spoke about that. The defense didn't even cross-examine her. They was just like, girl, bye. Okay, thank you for your testimony. Then we had the ex-assistant who came on here. They say he was breaking out in random tears randomly, talking about the good times and the bad, all for them to find out he was out there popping Barack Obama's looking for a Michelle. Down to the party. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Girl, come to find out, he turned into Diddy and he started popping bitches upside the head too. This the ex-assistant. We going down the list, okay? Then we're going to get into the escort. Well, first there were 2 escorts. One of the escorts say that he had a good time. He was called over there by Cassie, not Diddy, okay? And that he didn't have no interaction with Diddy. As a matter of fact, none of these men have even said yet that they had any physical interaction with Diddy so far, okay? So he came on and gave his little 1-2 yin-yang, and then another escort came on and gave his little 1-2 yin-yang. That was the one from yesterday. He said, or day before yesterday, I'm sorry. Don't really matter. He said that basically he was being paid up to $2,000 if he finished, And also that they stopped dealing with him because he was having hard troubles getting it up. No pun intended, hard troubles. But mind you, this is the guy who made a book or wrote a book called Freezer Meat, because he was having ED problems, erectile dysfunctional problems. Okay, so he wrote a book called Freezer Meat to just get it on out the way. Okay, so anyway, he couldn't keep it up while Diddy was there. Plus, he was suffering from ED. He was a lifelong S worker, so he was having issues. So they ended up firing him. But he had been over there between 8 to 15 times within a year or so. Can't remember. Okay, so boom, we had him. Who else came on there? Oh, the Cassie's best friend came on there, and Cassie and Diddy out. Basically said she don't want nothing to do with Cassie because when Diddy popped her upside the head, first of all, Diddy popped Cassie upside the head, had her and Cassie in the bushes, hiding in Jamaica in the jungle, hiding out, girl, trying not to get bit by snakes. Then she said she decided that she was going to make Diddy pay and sue Diddy. And then Cassie came over there and gave her $30,000 and told her, shut up, you blowing it. So the friend, the ex-best friend of Cassie, who was a clear woman who didn't want to be there from the beginning, the clear woman said, girl, F Cassie and Diddy. How about that? Yeah, that nigga sent us to rehab. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah, we was high as the cost of living every day. But at the end of the day, girl, F Cassie and Diddy. Dawn got up there and lied down to the ground. Dawn from Danny the Kane got up there. As a matter of fact, I know she's at home wishing she could turn back the hands of time and she would never even be there. Dawn done got her crazy ass up there and swore to God damn near on the Bible that basically Diddy had popped Cassie upside the head with a doggone frying pan, cast iron skillet at that. He wanted some eggs over medium. She made them over hard. They say Diddy done came downstairs, took the bite of the frying pan, took it through the eggs on the ground, flipped that bitch up and down like a damn paddle, and then popped Cassie on top of the head. Then after that, allegedly, they went out to a greeting or a meeting or something where Dawn claimed she wore glasses in solidarity because Cassie's whole eye was on this side of her face or something like that. Okay? Didn't the prosecution got her to say that story? Defense came over there and tore that down to the ground and said, girl, who did you see him hit her? Oh, no, I ain't see it. I heard it. But didn't you tell the government that you saw it? I mean, I ain't say that. Exhibit A. All right, girl, I might have said it, but I'm just remembering as I go. You know, trauma. You know? And look at the people in the comments. But Voodoo, you don't understand. When you're going through trauma, you don't remember. If she forgot that he hit her upside the head and threatened her life, it was all because of the trauma. Anyway, Dawn done got her crazy ass up there lying down to the ground. The people exposed that she just trying to get her little lawsuit money, girl. The people done exposed, girl, you is lying. Don't nobody corroborate your story. Not even Cassie, girl. And as a matter of fact, we gonna go ahead on and file for your lawsuit to be dismissed and for you, ho, to be dismissed as well. Get you and your shoulder pads up off the stand and carry your ass back down to New Orleans and put your Indian costume back on. And that's what they did to Dawn. Okay. I'm just going through the list of the people that what we done dealt with so far. Okay. So now fast forward. Now, did I miss a witness? Dawn, the clear woman, the escorts, Cassie Mo. Did I miss somebody? Gene not testifying as we know so far. Kid Cudi was supposed to show up yesterday, but somebody must have turned around and told him, get your ass up there or we're going to pop you upside the head. So now he there today. Okay? So now they done threatened to blow up his new car. Now he there today backpedaling and pussy popping on the handstand. But that's a whole nother story. Oh, the expert. Now let's get into yesterday. So now we have a psychological expert, girl. The psychological expert. Let me say this. I have a degree in psychology. I do. Yes, I do. I have a a bachelor's degree in psychology. No specific field, not child psychology, not abnormal psychology, not, you know what I'm saying, forensic. I thought about all those specials. I wanted to do all those different specific psychology career fields, but then I thought about it. Let me just go and get a general psychology degree. And when I get onto my master's program, then I could define it and go down further and woo-de-woo. Thank God I didn't go that far, because psychology is a joke at this point. Psychology has been used as a weapon and a tool to push a whole bunch of facts to the side. And this is somebody who studied psychology. Psychology has been used as a tool to suppress facts and to keep people stupid, and to use people's emotions to provoke a bunch of bull crap. That's how I feel about psychology. That's not the psychology I learned, but it seemed like after 2020, everything just started going downhill. So now we got this professional psychologist coming in. This heifer comes in. Matter of fact, put a pin in the psychologist real quick. Before we get to the psychologist, I want to show y'all some other things real quick. Put a pin in the psychologist. Just know psychology is a joke in 2025. And all y'all online that's repeating, oh, he's a narcissist. Oh, this is traumatic. Oh, most of y'all don't even know what y'all are talking about. Y'all just repeating the same talking points. That be the gag. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get into Meek Mills. Now, y'all know one thing about Meek and one thing about me is I keep a good old nasty receipt. Now, Meek Mill was once Diddy's bitch. You feel me? And if you don't believe me, just watch. See, what happened was Meek Mill was a struggle rapper who couldn't keep his braids done down in Philly, where they don't have trees or grass. All they have is nightmares and no dreams, okay? So Meek Mill came up out of the gutter looking like he smelled like stale walls and old cigarette butts. He came up out of the gutter of Philly, and we thought he was a real nigga. Why? Because he was dirty. That's it. That's all. We didn't think he was a real nigga because of the work he done put in. We didn't think he was a real nigga because he, hung with real niggas. Only reason we thought he was a real nigga because he was dirty. His braids was never done. And to be walking around as a person in the black community with the braids like that, you got to be some level of a real nigga. See, that's how we all looked at Meek Mills. You feel what I'm saying? I'm speaking as your subconscious. Because see, these are subconscious thoughts. These ain't the thoughts that come here. These the thoughts that be way back here. You feel what I'm saying? I am speaking for your subconscious. We only thought he was a real nigga because he was dirty. That's it. He was dirty, and there was a bunch of dirty niggas around him. Real nigga. Nobody thinks the cute, fly, clean boy who mama tell him don't get dirty when he go outside. Nobody thinks he's the real nigga. We all think the dirty nigga was. And this is why we thought Meek Mills was a real nigga, because he was dirty. Let's talk about it. But it turns out we were wrong. Meek Mills is not a real nigga. I'm not even sure if he's even a nigga. You get it? Meek Mills has been bending over for the clear billionaires, Puffy included, for a long time. Then he gets on this internet and play tough gangster, as they always do. Then he get on this internet and play tough gangster, I'm a real nigga, because he rap about not having shoes and toilet paper to wipe his ass when he was a young boy. But the facts of the matter is, no real nigga is bending over in the mirror with a blicky between their cheeks. Not the legs, bitch. Not the knees, ho. Your cheeks. Do you understand if the safety was off that gun and that gun misfired or went off? Do you understand that both or one of his cheeks would go flying across the room? Do you know the level of loose wristedness you have to have? I'm a woman, and I ain't never thought to bend over in the mirror and put a thong on and put a blicky between my cheeks. It just never crossed my mind. And I have the equipment for the situation that we looking at. There's nothing in my head has ever, of all the freaky pictures I done sent, of all of the nasty photos I done took, I have never once said, let me get the blicky. Yeah, get the blicky, put the mirror right here. I'm going to stand the phone up right here. Then I'm going to bend over in my lingeries and I'm going to put the blicky, this my cheeks. I'm going to put the blicky right up in there. You feel what I'm saying? And then I'm going to bend over in the mirror. And when I send this to this nigga, he going to know this is a good time. In a dark hole. You feel what I'm saying? Nothing ever came across my mind. So this is the level of loose wristedness we dealing with as it pertains to the nigga named Meek Mills. Okay? So we thought he was a real nigga, but we lied. Or we was lied to. We lied to ourselves. We thought dirty, real nigga. You feel what I'm saying? But he really not. Okay? So boom. Where were we? Shout out to Philly. Y'all caught us straight, but we ain't talked about y'all in a while anyway, so y'all was long overdue. Philly, relax, okay? Now, so Meek Mills, although he's been caught in pools with Diddy and Diddy calling him daddy, although he's been seen on video with Diddy gazing into his eyes as he rap about effing a bad bitch and all those things, although Diddy has had him dressed like him, looking like they going to take twin photos because it's twin day down at the schoolhouse, although all these things have taken place, you got Meek Mill over there jumping up and down, bunny hopping in front of clear people. Although the clear people are on, Mike Rubin is his name, on the doggone plane talking about they're going to give him hugs and kisses and things. Although all of that took place, Meek Mill is still on Twitter acting like he a straight heterosexual man. And it's really grinding my gears and it's really upsetting me and my homegirls. Because now Meek Mill don't want me to trust my eyes. Now what Meek Mill is telling me that what I'm looking at ain't what I'm looking at. And I don't too particularly like it. It throws my equilibrium off. My brain get to going. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. Now, where was I? Oh, Meek Mill. So Meek Mill has been making his little 1-2 yin post. And recently he said something now. Now, mind you, Meek Mill was running behind Diddy. He was so far up Diddy's ass, he could damn near pull out his intestines. But ever since Diddy got arrested, Meek Mills has been separating himself and distancing himself as if we didn't already see what we had already saw in the past. So this is what Meek Mill has to say. Just to put that on public record, and the craziest thing I seen at a puff party is blank vibes, and that's going on at all these parties. What is the word he trying to say? Gay? I don't know. I'm from North Philly. I had millions since I was 23. I don't even want to be addicted to weed. I think he meant drug vibes. I can't see it. I don't even want to be addicted to weed. Not judging, but I see different. So now he's talking about the drugs. Meek, do you want us to believe that you were sober taking that dick? Are we to believe that you was taking all that dick? Hold on, let me put it in perspective. Are we to believe that Meek Mill did this sober? If so, then that's next level. Are we to believe that when you and your homeboys went to the yacht party with a bunch of clear men in all white and y'all was wearing all white and they didn't have no women on the boat, that you did that sober? Or is that what you are telling us to believe, that the craziest things you seen at a puff party was drugs, but you don't roll like that? Again, Meek Mill want us to forget what we looking at and believe what he's saying. That's a problem for me. I will never believe what a motherfucker say over what I'm seeing. I just won't. So now he's on here talking about the craziest thing he's seen was drugs. And it's a very passive aggressive, backhanded thing to say, because what he's doing is trying to put it out there to his man. What he's doing is trying to put it out there to his man that for first and foremost, I will always love you and I will always have your back. Let's start there first. But secondly, what he's saying to his man is, I'll say that the craziest thing I seen was drugs, because when you get out, not if, but when you come home, I'm going to be right here waiting. Meek, lay your nappy head ass down somewhere else, please, and thank you. Meek hair used to be so nappy, he used to have cotton balls at the end of his naps. Do you hear me? Meek Mills used to have cotton balls at the end of his braids in his naps. It was, you had to be there to see it. And as a black person, I done been there. I done had cotton balls at the end of mine. So I'm not judging. No, I am judging. I'm judging. You feel what I'm saying? I've had cotton balls at the end of my nap. So but at this point, I don't have them. So I can just go ahead and drag for him. Girl, Meek was so nasty and dirty. He was so nasty and dirty. And we just took that and he could rap and a bunch of them niggas outside in the cold with puff jackets on and they musty. We just automatically assumed they was real niggas, but they not. Every nigga that put on a puff jacket and still be musty, that don't mean they real. That just mean they real musty. Okay? Let that really sink into you guys. Now let's get into some of the other folks that came on this doggone this show. Not the show. Well, the trial is a show. You feel what I'm saying? But let's talk about these other men or these other people. Let's get into the psychologist, Dawn Hughes. Dawn Hughes is the clear woman. Look at her. Look like she's on her way to court, making her way downtown, walking fast, faces passing. She on her way to lie. She can't wait to get down there and lie. Look at her. Hold your face up. Let us see it. Let me get Maxine on here. Look at your girl Dawn running down the street in the middle of New York traffic, all to get rushed down there and lie. Hold your face up. Let them see it.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
Baby, let me tell you something about the Clears. Shout out to the Clears, bro. Because at some point, you got to start giving them props. Shout out to the Clears. Let me say one thing about the Clears. They gonna bullshit you all the way down to the ground like it's real. This Clear woman came toting her ass down to this case, giving fire testimony about traumatic responses. Remember, we were talking about Woo. Matter of fact, I need her on Woo trial. Matter of fact, Woo, if you on here, get this Clear lady right here to come help you fight when they take you back to court. Tell her to let the people down at the courthouse know it was a trauma response, because she was laying the trauma response thing on thick. Okay? So this lady is a professional witness. She's a professional. If you in trouble, I'm going to psychologize you so much so that I'm going to get you off the case. I'm going to get you off. Okay? That's what this woman is. And she had me going for a little while. Me having a psychology degree, I was like, that's true. No, that's right. That's true. That's real. That I did study. Wait, no, now listen, I may not agree, but she's right with this. And this is the way that we are living in 2024. They're taking a little itty bit of truth and manipulating said truth to fit the agendas of whatever they wanted to fit. So although the things that she was saying was true, and they are documented and they are proven, you can go and research the things that she said. Honestly, I want to say everything that she said was true, but they are using the truth that happens to be a truth for a certain situation or for other situations to mold it to fit into this situation. And that's where psychology has been used and is being used as a weapon. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. It's true that I need a chainsaw to cut down a tree successfully. Right? It's true. It's true that in order for me to cut down a tree, I have to get a chainsaw. I may even have to get a certain kind of chainsaw, but it's true that one of the most effective ways of cutting down a tree is by using a chainsaw. That is the truth. Now, just because this chainsaw is great at cutting down trees doesn't mean that this chainsaw will be great at anything else I use it to cut with, right? For instance, I shouldn't be cutting off a person's limbs with this chainsaw because it's an easier, more effective way, because it's also easy to use it and most effective to cut down trees. And it sounds like a weird analogy now that I'm saying it out loud, but I'm using it something plain so you can understand what's happening here. They're taking psychology and truths that are in psychology, such as trauma responses, such as some of the behaviors that people do, and they're applying it to this situation to fit the narrative, because fitting the narrative fits their goal. And their goal is to take everything from Sean Diddy Combs and lock his ass up and let Cassie go off to be a doggone witness. Live happily ever after. The very first tall tale sign you guys should hear or should have heard is all these folks getting immunity. This is a RICO, baby. This is supposed to be a party. It's supposed to be multiple people down for the RICO. How everybody got immunity except one nigga? Everybody got immunity. They didn't even do this with the mob. Even in the mob, not just the mob boss went to jail. Even in the mob, other people went to jail for their RICOs. It wasn't only the mob boss. It was his underboss. It was their boss. It was their partner. You feel what I'm saying? If you happen to buy a sack of weed from one of the mob bosses or one of his family, you went to jail. Even in the mob, everybody didn't get immunity. But for some odd reason, now that they've taken these RICOs from the streets and put them here, don't let that go over your head. For some odd reason, ever since they've taken these RICOs from the streets and implanted them in your head, now all of a sudden, everybody who aided, abetted, and assisted in all of the most heinous things that makes Diddy this nasty monster, all these folks get to walk away with immunity and go away free. All we want is this big monster who couldn't do it alone. And now you set free all these people who helped, aided, and abetted for this thing to go the way that it went. Now you help those people go and aid and abet another monster to do it over and over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense? And in that situation, do you really help the problem? Hell no. If anything, you're throwing gasoline on a fire. Because this entire quote-unquote enterprise that you claim exists under the thumb of Diddy, you've just released them back into the streets to go find a new enterprise and recreate and redo the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, creating more victims. That's what we're dealing with. That's exactly what we're dealing with. Psychology is being weaponized in this case. It was weaponized in the Meg Thee Stallion case. I ain't gonna say it was weaponized in the Tasha K case. That kind of was warranted. Tasha K got her lick. Tasha K took her lick. So I'm not gonna say it was weaponized there, but it was definitely weaponized in the Meg Thee Stallion case, and it's being overly weaponized in this one. I'm glad you brought this up, Just Goddess only. Just Goddesses only. She says, notice she didn't touch upon Diddy's trauma and didn't state why he did what he did. As a clinician, she knows there are two sides to every event. This is why they packed her ass and got her up out of there. This is exactly why they packed her ass up and got her the hell up out of there. Because see, the way trauma works and trauma responses, it don't only work for your faves, it works for everybody. If that's the case, if Cassie and Dawn and all these people are having all these trauma responses, then what happened to Diddy? Could he be having trauma responses? This is just if I'm an attorney for Diddy. My client, I would have my client tell me the most heinous that happened to him. Now, you know, it was alleged that he was allegedly touched on or something happened to him as a little bitty boy. We would take that, bring that to the forefront, and then say, okay, bet. My client had a traumatic response as well. He too was traumatized when he was 5, 6 years old, whoop, and he has not been right ever since. As a matter of fact, I can pull up a behavior of trauma that he has gone through since this experience, and I can even dissect every single thing he did to Cassie and those other people around him because they were all trauma responses, i.e. like this. Oh, yeah, Diddy did hit her with a spatula, but you don't understand. It was a trauma response. He did that because he seen his mother being beaten by his father when he was 6 months old. Yeah, Tiff, this the reason why he do drugs. Coping. And I can literally pull up. Hold on. Let's go Cassie real quick because I want to show y'all the hypocrisy that y'all be doing on this internet. Let's go Cassie real quick. And I hate to do this because I think Diddy belongs in jail. Hold on. So, according to Google, someone who has been through trauma or has experienced chronic stress might use substances like drug and alcohol as a form of self-medication. They may use substances to temporarily cope with the stress they feel or with symptoms of related mental illness like post-traumatic stress disorder. By this logic, Diddy should walk. Yeah, he had a drug problem, but it's all a trauma response. He's trying to cope. He's using drugs as coping mechanisms. Yeah, he might have popped Cassie, but that's a trauma response. He's on edge. His father used to beat him. He's not in his right state of mind under trauma, as if Cassie isn't. Cassie's not making these decisions in her right state of mind. She's going through trauma and traumatic events that's triggering things. That's the same thing happening to Sean Combs. You see how psychology is being weaponized when it don't fit your narrative? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Do you see how ignorant and stupid it sounds when I use the same stuff for Diddy's defense? I really want to understand I want to make sure that you understand where I'm trying to go with it. Even if you don't agree, do you understand where I'm going with this? Because I'm a visual person. I like to explain things to where they can see it themselves. You cannot, the court, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, when it comes down to court situation as far as crime and things like this, I believe that psychology has no place in it. And this is not just for Diddy. This is not just for Cassie. This is not for the clear serial killer. This is for everybody. I believe psychology has no place in it. And let me tell you why. Because if you understand the field of psychology and then you understand law, you understand that law don't give a fuck about psychology. You think they give a fuck why you robbed the bank? Do you think that when they arrest you for unaliving 10, 12 people, they want to sit down and ask you why you did that? Psychology is a very squiggly line. It's so squiggly, you can't even keep up with the curves. The moment we start to introduce psychology into law, that's the moment we F up. You know how many people, by this logic, should be released from prison right now because of the traumatic experiences they've had prior to whatever crimes they committed? If that was the case, they need to open the jail cells, and 95% of those folks living inside of those jails should be able to walk free because they were all having trauma responses. You do know that most people who commit crimes suffer from some sort of prior traumatic responses or traumatic incidents, right? So if by that logic, open the doors and let everybody out of jail free right now because they all probably had some sort of trauma in their past. Yeah, Dadon, all serial killers have had trauma. Jeffrey Dahmer, turns out he wasn't as bad of a guy as we thought he was. Those were all trauma responses. Don't get me started on the women Women have babies and have to be away from their children and go off to prison. Trauma. If she has a fight in jail, it's a trauma response. If she shanked that girl in jail, it's a trauma response. She not by her kids. You see how far this could go? But nobody want to take it that far. Only thing I'm trying to tell you is don't let this bull crap that social media been pushing y'all, making y'all think that this girl is not responsible or accountable for none of the things that she did. At the end of the day, Cassie, Dawn, Gene Deal, Jaguar Wright, all these folks made choices to be in these spaces with these dark, dirty, devilish, evil people. They all benefited, every single one of them, from Cassie Mon all the way down to the best friend, all the way down, to the police, to the security, to the trainer. Everybody benefited from this nasty, devious monster. Everybody benefited. Everybody benefited. So my question is, why in the hell are we sitting up here talking about there was only one monster when it looks to me like there were tens of hundreds of them? All them people that watched him kick ass, all them people that watched him pop them mollies and get high, all them people that helped him to get the bitches, all them people that helped him cook the food, all the people that helped, all you niggas are monsters just like him, and they all need to go to jail. Oh, my bad. Trauma responses. We are going down a very deep, dark path that once we get to it, and this been in the making for the last 5 years, once we get to it, y'all ain't gonna be able to get out of it, and it's gonna be bad. They gonna start convicting regular folk on how they feel, and y'all ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. Because you do know the way law works is, if this case wins, if they win any of these counts, then guess what? New cases are going to be able to refer to this case and say, we could do it because we just did it to Diddy. So you go to the store. Your kid, like most kids have done in the past, picks up a stick of gum and put it in his pocket. Now they want your child to do 2 years in jail. Your child is ain't but 12, 13 years old. And you saying, but why would y'all want to put him in jail? Oh yeah, because see, he stole. But no. You don't understand. He don't have this to steal. I got money in my pocket. I could pay for it. Yeah, no. A little clear girl was standing next to him and watched him steal it. She has been traumatically affected. That's what we're dealing with. Let's get into the psychologist. And psychology is a joke now. I don't think it started out I think it started out as a joke. Let me backtrack. Because when you think of early psychology, you know it started out as a joke. However, it evolved into something that was very helpful and very needed amongst people. I don't care what color you are. But now what they've done is push that line so far that they've literally blurred it till it doesn't exist. And now they're just saying and doing anything. Cassie, yes, she suffered trauma. Yes, physically she was abused, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, yes. But Cassie made decisions, period, point blank. I don't give a about none of that. Dawn made decisions. Gene Deal made decisions. Jaguar Wright made decisions. Cassie Mama made decisions. Roger Bonds made decisions. The ex-assistant made decisions. The escort made decisions. Everybody made a decision. So they're supposed to be absolved from their decisions because they were trauma bonding? Y'all crazy. Let's get into the psychologist. On day 7 of the Diddy trial, clinical and forensic psychologist Dawn Hughes resumed her testimony under cross-examination by defense attorney Jonathan Bach. It says later on that day, Diddy's former executive assistant, George Kaplan, testified that he picked up drugs for Diddy on 2 occasions. Once in Miami and in Los Angeles. He said Combs gave him cash and a contact number each time. Kaplan also testified that he was told to set up a hotel room for Combs and was given a bag and told to unpack it. The bag had clothes, speakers, candles, liquor, baby oil, and lubricant in it, he said. The prosecution called this 11th witness to the stand psychologist Dawn Hughes. Hughes is an experienced expert witness. That's the words right there. Experienced expert witnesses. That means she do this shit all the time. Who has testified in various trials, including R. Kelly's racketeering and immoral transportation case. Hughes will provide the jury with information about domestic violence, rape, sexual assault, trauma, and the impact of these things have on victims. Okay. Now, mind you, she's an expert witness. This is what Dawn Hughes does for a living. Literally, this is how she makes her living. Dr. Hughes testifies that it is common for victims to stay in abusive relationships due to psychological bonds and the psychological consequences of the abuse. She told prosecutors that perpetrators use various methods to make victims feel trapped. These are true things, including physical violence, psychological violence, intimidation, or sexual abuse. So now here's the AUSA asking a question. What can be the role of sexual abuse? Dr. Hughes, it puts the victim in significant psychological fear. These are true things. AUSA Steiner, why does it prevent leaving? Dr. Hughes, shame, degradation. They don't want to think about it. Now, this is the psychologist doing her thing on the stand. Dr. Hughes spoke about how financial dependence plays an important role in a victim's decision to stay in an abusive relationship. She testifies that resources are necessary for the victim to leave, and the abuser controlling housing, transportation, and other resources can sabotage a victim's ability to have independence. Hughes, how are you to leave if you don't have access to those tangible resources, meaning a vehicle, money, you know what I'm saying, clothes, things of that nature? Hughes also testifies about trauma bonds, saying that abusive relationships include love and kindness in addition to the abuse, which complicates things more. Hughes, quote, the victim wants that, they want that back. So when that is shown to the victim, they are very reinforcing. Hughes said a trauma bond is an attachment to one's partner in spite of violence and abuse. The prosecution asked Hughes about the reason why a victim may not remember each time they were abused. Hughes testified that within domestic abuse, a routine develops in which a victim can equate instances of abuse to the same routine events that they experience on a daily basis. Victims are more likely to remember instances of abuse that are connected to a significant event like a birthday or anniversary. Let me step in right here as well, too, to say this. That's not necessarily true all the time. That is common, meaning that it happens more often than not, but it's not always true. Some victims can remember every detail of their abuse. It just depends on how your brain decided to protect you during or after that trauma. Does that make sense? Your brain protects you by doing stuff like throwing stuff out, forgetting, you know what I'm saying? Or it'll put you mentally in another place so you won't have to physically. Ain't y'all call that disassociating? Ain't that the new thing? So sometimes your brain will go into protection mode so that you won't crack and lose your mind. And sometimes it'll put you in a position to where it makes it hard for you to remember certain things, or it makes it easy for you to disassociate and put yourself somewhere else. Some of the things Cassie said, oh, I didn't like the freak offs. I would just get high and just go somewhere else in my head. That's trauma. That's what we would call your brain protecting you. Some people can remember every single thing, from the smell, the taste, the date, the time, the music that may have been playing on the radio, the sound of the voice, the sound of the wind. Some people may remember, I remember this day like it was yesterday because the sun seemed like it sat lower to the earth than it did in the past. You get it? So trauma responses and your brain protecting you happens in different ways. Okay, but what she's saying is 100% true. She's not lying about what she's saying. But let's just talk about what's really happening here with this Dawn person. What Dawn is doing after she gives this testimony, everybody's like, yo, she makes sense. She even talks about Cassie and her trauma responses and why she stayed in a situation and why she did what she did. She spoke about Dawn, all these other people who had all these situations. All these people had all these situations, were going through nothing but simple trauma responses. And if you were to take what's in a textbook or what's in a book and apply it as a blanket toward a situation, then yes, it fits. It's like that universal puzzle piece is what psychology has become. It's that universal puzzle piece that fits into any and every slot you put it in, because it can literally, it's so broad, and it can be so broad that it can fit specific things perfectly, okay? But this is the problem. According to the court of law, for the most part, they don't give up about what mental state you were in when you did most crimes. Now, I'm not talking about crimes of passion. I'm not talking about when they're dealing with DV. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about there was an action done. You did it. You either did it or you didn't do it. And if you didn't do it, you innocent. And if you did it, you guilty. If we unsure, we'll just say you not guilty. But either way, there was something that took place and you the person who did it, and it just is what it is. Because when you start putting this psychological piece in here, now you're blurring the lines so much so that literally everybody who goes to court for anything should be able to walk. Everybody. The way I see it is, yes, Cassie has had trauma responses, and I think everybody around Diddy suffered from some sort of trauma. But I also think they all gained personally too. They all gained. Now, as far as the psychologist, it comes out through the defense when they get up to cross-examine her that, yes, my girl is this highly educated psychologist with all these degrees from the top institutions and can't be touched and whoop, whoop, whoop. This girl is summa cum laude of psychology, girl. It turns out, even though all those things are true, she's not using it in an unbiased manner. What she does for a living is go around from case to case to case. You heard they mentioned that she was down to the what case that was? The Meg Thee Stallion case, I think it was. What she's doing is taking a field where she's supposed to be unbiased and taking her bias and applying it to every single case. It's like she made one big blanket defense, and she going around to everybody's case and using that. Remember that universal puzzle piece I call psychology? She's taking that universal puzzle piece, that one big blanket, and going around and putting it on everybody's lap. So for instance, right now she over there fighting Diddy and Cassie. Let's say, God forbid, me and some man in the street get into it, and then I see him again and we get into it again. She gonna come to my trial and advocate for me and say that I'm suffering. It was R. Kelly, I'm sorry, and say that I'm suffering from a trauma response. This is what she does. This takes the integrity away from the field of psychology, and it also tells me that she don't know what the she doing, or maybe she does, and she's doing this perfectly. She's not being unbiased. And when the defense called that out, they first said, hey, girl, you really do this for a living. Well, I wouldn't say that because I'm an actual psychologist. Yeah, but most of your money come from doing this. Well, 60% comes from it. That's most of your money, dummy. This bitch gets up every morning and put on a suit with shoulder pads and go around to people's cases. This is what she does for a living. So are we to take her testimony, even though the thing she said is true? Are we really to take her testimony for truth, or should we take it? You know what I mean? So the prosecution was smart with getting her because she helps fit their narrative. But if you ask her to apply that very same universal piece called psychology to Diddy, then all hell gonna break loose. Why is that? Yeah, she got $6,000 for the one day to come in here and testify. And I'm sitting over here counting like, bitch, you could do about 2-3 cases in a day if they all in the same city. It's 7 days to a week. You feel me? Bitch, I'm counting. I'm not good at math, but I know how to count my coin. I'm sitting over here saying you done got $6,000 just for this one. Bitch, you could be in and out of here for an hour. Bitch, and you could head up the street and do 2-3 more cases, bitch. You making more in a week than the average bitch making in a year. And thank you, Gina, for saying this. It's really paid testimony. Yeah, Ace, it's payola. She's payola for trials. Mind you, don't let this part go over your head. Trauma or not, Cassie was over there sucking dick with sores in her mouth. Allegedly. And UTIs up her cooter packer. Bitch, that is unforgivable. I don't give a fuck about your trauma. Bitch, you gonna put your mouth on me and you got volcanoes in there? Girl, I don't give a fuck about no trauma when I got holes on my coochie now. Now, y'all can holler that trauma all y'all want. That's cool. But girl, all that go out the window when you had holes in your mouth and sores in your mouth and now they on my coochie lips. The fuck? Trauma my ass. Bitch, you about to trauma these hands. Girl, I don't give a damn about no trauma. You about to catch these hands. I'm about to bop you upside your motherfucking head. Girl. Sores all up and through her mouth. She's still out here sucking dick. Have you lost your mind? Girl, now that part got me. You and Diddy, bitch. Y'all co-conspirators. I said what I said. You and Diddy, some co-conspirators. Y'all hoes calling on the Craigslist people to get these folks to come down here so you can give them a package, all right? Bitch, y'all supposed to be on the other side. Cassie should have been sitting next to Diddy. Fuck the trauma. Bitch, I got holes on my coochie now. What the fuck? Girl, I'm leaking. What? Girl, I don't give a fuck about no trauma. I am leaking like a leaky faucet. I ain't never leaked like this. What's going on? Trauma? Girl, you can take that trauma and bash Mr. over the head with it and think about heaven later. Girl, y'all can go ahead on and miss me with the trauma, girl. I don't want to hear nothing about no trauma. My coochie hurt, bitch. You ain't tell me that it was a damn mountain of holes in your mouth hole. Girl. Girl, y'all let that trauma stuff. Girl, y'all do the most with that trauma. Girl, Cassie, in that specific situation within itself, Cassie is not a victim. Bitch, you was out here eating coochie and licking dick with holes in your mouth. Bitch, you ought to be under the prison. Don't get me started. And Dawn, go lay down, clear woman. We done found you out, bitch. Now, don't get me wrong. Get on a few more black people trials so you can get them off. But other than that, girl, shut up. I'm running around here from trial to trial talking about trauma this, trauma that. Bitch, where your man at? They packed her up out of there, as they should. They packed her up out of there and sent her on her way, as they should. Now, let's move on to the next person. The prosecution calls his next witness to the stand, Diddy's former executive assistant, George Kaplan. Kaplan worked for Combs Enterprises between 2013 and 2015. He testified he reported to Christina Coram, or KK, and carried out tasks like carrying Diddy's bags and setting up hotel rooms. Kaplan testified he worked between 80 and 100 hours a week, and he was only getting $70,000 a year. He a new age fool. He said he was supposed to protect Diddy's image. Kaplan testified that he was also tasked with cleaning up Diddy's hotel rooms, which were typically booked under the name Frank Black. Kaplan testified he understood that Diddy would have guests or female partners join him in the hotel rooms. When the prosecution asked Kaplan why he cleaned the rooms instead of the hotel staff, he testified he came to understand that he needed to protect Diddy's image. Kaplan, protecting him and protecting his public image was very important, and that was something I was very keen on doing. Kaplan testified he traveled to various destinations with Diddy, including New York, Miami, Atlanta, DC, and Orlando. His job was to ensure Diddy's accommodations were set up properly, okay? It says the prosecution asked Kaplan about how he set up the rooms. He testified he was given a bag and he would be tasked with unpacking it. Kaplan said the bag would include clothes, candles, Astroglide, liquor, and baby oil. And since we're here, what the is Astroglide? I need to see. I've been seeing this for the last week and I've been meaning to Google it. Astroglide. What is that? Is that something like a lube? The best personal lube. Okay, yeah. Astroglide is the best personal lubricants for every need. Sound about right. It's lube. So this nigga got baby Earl and lube. Do you know how slippery that's gotta be? Astroglide probably got stocks going up through the roof. I wanted to say that too. Y'all do know when these companies and stuff like this be mentioned in these cases, their coin go up, the stock go up. So I'm pretty sure Astroglide stock has shot through the roof since Diddy is in the corner with a doggone mask on like this. With the Astroglide like this. Turn over. Go the other way. You get it? So I'm pretty sure Astroglide sold out. Girl. Back to where I was going. Okay, where was I going? Baby Earl, lube, Astroglide, and liquor, and candles and clothes. Kaplan testified Diddy would contact him from the room to gather things he needed like food, clothes, and drugs. In addition to Advil and ketamine, Kaplan recalled 2 times Diddy asked him to pick up drugs on his behalf, once in Miami and once in LA. Kaplan testified he would give him a number to call in cash. It says the person would meet with Kaplan and give him a bag of pills. Kaplan testified he would give the pills to Diddy. Judge Submarine, or whatever her name is, adjourns the court for the day. So court was adjourned. Okay? So this clear man was in there cleaning up blood, feces, urine, Astroglide, lube, baby Earl, all of this stuff. What this man was in there cleaning up because he wanted to protect the image. Nigga, protect your mouth. That's a hazardous scene right there. Girl, these are the people who testify. And don't get me wrong, the more they start adding people in and the crimes in, it does peek into the racketeering, situation that we're dealing with. But it's not enough to 100% without a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion, so far. We only in halfway through or almost throughout a week 2. So far, I'm not seeing the RICO. Not without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not seeing it. I need a RICO without the shadow of a doubt. Now, I want to move forward. I already talked about that. Let's get into the exotic dancer, the Punisher. Yes, Diddy hired a nigga named the Punisher. Let's get into what he had to say. And I'm going to put it up on my phone so I can see it better. Is that 100%? Yeah, it should be. Y'all get the likes up on the video, please, and thank you. Get the likes up on the video. Let's get into some of the things the Punisher had to say, because we're going to discuss it. See, y'all don't want to discuss it, but we're going to discuss it over here. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all they seized weapons too. Hold on, y'all. I want to pull it up so I can see it. How come I can't see it over here? Let me refresh for me. Because I saw some stuff on here last night. I was like, what? All right, here we go. Exotic male dancer, The Punisher, said Cassie loved when he came all over her, you know what, her vag. A while Diddy watched him in master bathing some things, okay? It was nice until over time I began to suspect that after I blew my lead, her hubby was helping her wipe up and licking her clean. It says, dude was butt naked with one of those Muslim head oil coverings. The only thing revealed his eyes, or the only thing that was revealed was his eyes, so his face was completely covered. He had a bottle of Astroglide in his hand while he was madly whacking his meat with the other hand. Like you could hear the whacking from across the room. Whack, 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 whack. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Girl, that's drying me up thinking about it. Before I continue, I would like to make it clear that I have nothing against gay people. I support any way of life that one chooses. I have very close gay friends, but I am not gay or a bisexual man. So to have another dude in the background naked and beating off was way out of my comfort zone. I couldn't help but worry if this guy would make a move on me. So I was definitely paranoid and overthinking. Now I'm not surprised to acknowledge him. So he didn't say anything directly to me, but he was speaking in a low voice, giving subtle orders to his wife, starting his wants and enjoyment. A fun fact about me, after all my years in the club with that loud music, I can't hear for shit. This was making matters 10 times worse. So this man said he'd been in the club for all these years and he really can't hear. But for some odd reason, all he saw and heard as he looked over move over. Turn around. Could you imagine? Girl, what? No wonder nobody ain't want to stick around for that ugly ass shit. Girl, no. No, you bad, but you ain't that bad. Hell no. Hell no. Party over. Party over. Party is over, bitch. I don't care if I don't get paid. Bitch, now I'm about to go online and tell everybody I was fucking both of y'all anyway. I don't care. Girl. That man said he can't even hear, but he heard that wop wop. Girl, you can't make this up. Back to where I was. Then he goes on to say, he says, I jumped on Google for help with my D density. You know what I mean? His peen density. Gold erection. After some quick searches, I learned I needed to drink a glass of ice water to somehow help me ejaculate. I have no idea why, but I tried it and it worked. So I finally was able to blow my load, which she insisted I do all over her bag. He says, I shot her box up like she was winning coach of the Super Bowl, and my dick was a bucket of Gatorade. Let me say that one more time. I shot her box up like she was the winning coach of the Super Bowl, and my was the Gatorade. Do you know how wet them coaches get when they dump the Gatorade over their head after they win the Super Bowl? She loved it. And oddly, I guess the husband did too, as this ending became the routine every time we got together, which at first was nice until over time I began to suspect that after I blew my load, her husband was helping her wipe up by licking her clean. Overthinking, paranoid mind strikes again, and I'm creeped out times 10. So on and off for the next 3 years, I was the boy toy for this rich, powerful couple 5 to 6 times a year when they came to New York City. The problem was, because of the weird circumstances, I can only get an erection about 50% of the time to really sustain a good session. This started to put tremendous stress on me to perform, and I needed a solution. I couldn't lose this $2,000 a session. Everybody is benefiting. Everybody is benefiting. Everybody is benefiting. Dude got the skeet off and get $2,000. Cassie got the skeet off and get the club shot up. Diddy got to be in a corner like this. You get it? Security got paid, hoes got laid, and a day was made. Everybody benefited. Why is the RICO here and only one person on trial? This is a real question. Why is there a RICO going on and we only looking at one person? Everybody benefited. Even Cassie, because remember, I don't want this part to go over y'all head. Do you recall? I don't know if y'all ever seen this video, but Shine was talking about how Diddy had owed him like hundreds of thousands of dollars from some album or whatever. Shine said the biggest slap in the face was he had to go along with Diddy and watch Diddy spend $1 million on Cassie. $1 million. See, when we saw Carisha get the shopping spree, we just thought she a fire girl who got a rich billionaire man and he just be buying her stuff. Diddy is a very great love bomber as well. He could have popped upside the head. Who knows? Either way, we know he's spending money on her. Millions, plural. Everybody benefited. Everybody, even the churn. I don't know how. I just feel like they did. Yeah, they benefited. They got clothes, shoes, cars. Everybody benefited. Everybody walked away with something. Everybody walked away with something. Why is this only one person on this RICO? Do you understand that most of the people who came from R. Kelly just moved to the next celebrity? Do you understand that most of the people who's coming from Diddy is just going to move on to the next celebrity? Do you know that that celebrity cannot do those things without those people? So really the core issue is not really the person. It's really the people when you think about it. Because if they are needed to make this thing go off without a hitch and nobody ever hold the people accountable, then this thing continues to repeat itself like a cycle. Why ain't none of the people going to jail? Why isn't it made where it's feared to do something like that? Because you've seen other people get charged with RICOs and go to jail for this. Meaning, I'm going to be your assistant, but girl, I'm not going to buy your drugs because, bitch, you seen what happened to the last security guards? You'll never see that because it's not about making it right. It's not even about righting the wrong. This is all about manipulation and tearing Diddy down. And I think they should. And I can't wait for the day that they do tear him down. But we don't understand how we are in the audience, and I'm talking about you and me. We are in the audience clapping for our own demise because it's coming. Today, Kid Cudi has got on the stand. From what I heard so far, he's talking about how his car blew up, how he was with Cassie, how Cassie played him. We're gonna discuss it tomorrow. I gotta wait for Armand to come home and do it. And Mims. But we're going to talk about his car, how his car blew up. And let me just say this about the car thing. Even though we all feel like Diddy did it, and we all could probably just say, yeah, he did it, until they can prove that Diddy did it, how does this work? This is a question. It's not about how you feel. It's about the facts. If Diddy wasn't proven to have done it then unless something new has happened between then and now, if they can't prove it he did it now, then what does Kid Cudi bring to the table? We'll discuss it tomorrow. Make sure y'all pull up tonight for the live that I'm going to be doing, and make sure y'all catch my other video I'm putting out. I got to get off of here, y'all. Let me read some of these super chats. Olivia Dreams, thank you for the super chat, says, morning, Boo. This is why servers be acting psychotic, chasing customers down. They add 18% gratuity at Chili's restaurant are diabolical. Yes. Listen, and let me tell you something, a lot of things too people don't know about these restaurants. A lot of people don't know about these restaurants. The gratuities is more for the restaurant than for the person. Because see, with the gratuity, you can't dispute that with the IRS, with the capital letter people. Because it's here, it was charged, here's the card, boom. So that gratuity thing come from the restaurant. That benefits them more than it benefits the person. But yes, this is why waiters be upset and be moody. Not all the time. Some of them just horrible. But this is why they chase you down and freak out about tips. Because if you don't tip them, they got to pay out of that. Okay? Yeah. So thank you so much for bringing that up. And thank you for the super chat too. Danielle with the 3 grandkids. Hey, boo, I ain't seen you in a while. Thank you for being a member for 14 months. Says, I remember this day. I was there. I remember the day like yesterday. Hashtag rest in peace, Kim. Oh, you was there? Oh, my God. You probably know a lot, too. Y'all email me, voodoo-podcast@gmail.com. I have some questions. Email me for real. Thank you so much, Danielle, for being a member for 14 months. The Balance, thank you for the super chat. Hey, boo, read the article by Whitney Webb, One Label Under Blackmail. It explicitly states that Diddy was initiated into the industry by Clive. Oh, baby, I already know that. And let's add 20 to 10 on that. Diddy was groomed too. Since we going down the grooming path, Diddy was groomed too, allegedly, by Clyde Davis and them. And the black people, what's his name, who helped him with the Fresh Prince, Quincy Jones, and all of them? Now I'm thinking about Will Smith, wrong accuser. But you know what I mean? Everybody has some level of groomed or being groomed if we're going to go down a grooming path. Thank you for bringing that up. Sorry. The Don, thank you for the super chat, says, I thought you're not allowed to diagnose people who you've never spoken to. You're not. How can she say what trauma Cassie and Dawn has? She can't. And let me tell you why she's doing it. Because she's been able to get away with it. She's never had a one-on-one. She's never evaluated Sean or Cassie. So how the hell could she sit up on this stage and say with her whole chest, I'm talking about Dawn, the psychologist, how could she sit up on this stage with her whole chest and say these things so adamantly when she has not done any assessment on any of the people and according to her, don't know the backstory? But it turns out she do know the backstory because the defense was able to find that the bitch not only had the backstory, she had the transcripts and everything and was advising the prosecution on how to go about the case. Girl, people come in frauds, all different shades, sizes, all different occupations. I used to think people like doctors and lawyers, back when I was younger, I used to think people like doctors, lawyers, police officers, dope firefighters, these are these are the people who not like that. Shit. Oh, live your dreams. Thank you for the super chat. Vu cooking. I'm hollering. Cassie is a filthy 304. Oh no. Allegedly. That's what they say. According to her testimony, she is. Girl, I ain't never got peed in my mouth. Girl, please. I ain't never got peed on, let alone peed in my mouth. Pure joy. Thank you for the super chat. Vu, all this testimony, we have yet to hear that Puff was engaging with men. I thought he liked man buns. That's a whole nother thing too. I'm waiting for the man to come in and say that Diddy was in the back like this at first. And then he creeped over to the side and grabbed Diddy's hand and stopped him mid like this. And Diddy's head looked like his eyes was like this. And then the man grabbed Diddy's hand and brought him over to the bed and finished on Diddy. That's the part I'm waiting on. That's the part I'm waiting on. I want that part. I want the part where the man heard Diddy in the corner and caught him mid-jab or mid-wop. That's the one I want here. That's the one I want to hear. I don't want to hear none of this other stuff. I don't care if he was in the corner whacking off. Oh, well, I don't care. I want to hear the one where the dude stopped him mid-whack and they went to whacking each other. That's the one I want to hear. You get it? Girl, you can't make this up. Anyways, I'm getting off here. I'll be back here in about an hour and a half, maybe. I'm going to do this video. Then I'm going to come back on here and I'm going to find something to talk about, y'all. We're going to go live today at the Dollhouse as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. We'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday. This is where we be. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss it. Saint, come show the people your haircut. Come here, P. Come here. Come show the people your haircut. He the reason I'm late because he had to go to the groomer today. Come on. Come show the people your haircut. You've been messing with your head, huh? Come on. This is the reason I was late. Somebody had to go to the barber shop and go get his hair cut, his teeth brushed, his ass washed, and all types of things of that nature. Now, he been messing with this bun because as you can see, it's coming out. I just paid these people good money for this bun. You better tread light and leave your hair alone. Do you understand me? But he's the reason why I was late today. But we will be back tomorrow either way. Get down. We will be back tomorrow anyways. But with that being said, y'all, I got to get up off of here. Love y'all down to the ground. I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm about to take Saint out for a little bit or whatever the case may be. I will catch y'all on the next one and catch me at the Dollhouse this evening too. Love y'all down to the ground. Peace.
Can you hear me now? Oh, let's go! It's your boy Big Chew, the voice of the beat. You know what I won't blaze up. Come on, blaze up.
It's the beat for me.
Wow, 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live. For your boy, for your boy, for your boy. Also for your boy, fix it for your boy. Drop it for your, wow, 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 lift it up.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.